Hi guys, welcome back to Red Wine Girl Time. Today we are going to be exploring being emotionally unavailable.
Red wine, red wine. Only get better with time. Only get better with time. Red wine, red wine. Only get better with time. Only get better with time. Only get better with.
To be emotionally unavailable, it means that even though you are physically present, and that could be physically present in a relationship where you actually have somebody that you're with, or if you're talking to somebody, if someone is courting you, if you are doing all the things physically that say, yes, I want to be with someone, but emotionally you are guarded. And that's where people make those references to, like, oh, you have a wall up. So that wall is the dividing space that keeps you here and away from entering that vulnerable space. And yes, here we go with that V word. Y'all know I hate that word. I still got a lot of growing up to do in this area. That fear of being vulnerable and that fear of emotional intimacy makes it hard for you to be in a relationship. There are certain trigger words and there are certain things that I'm gonna say that might resonate with you where you're like, oh, that's me. And the only reason why I feel that I'm able to identify them is because I've been through each of those stages. So once again, we're going to talk about these stages, identify them, and just talk about navigating through them and whether or not you should be dating. Yeah, calm my nerves. Okay, so stage one. You are emotionally unavailable because of family and childhood trauma. The way that you've seen your mother be in relationships, the lack of a father being present in your life, or a combination of both. That's just surface level. Again, family trauma can go very, very, very deep, but we don't want to get that far. And so the absence of a father in your life is where most men are always identifying or trying to identify or calling out daddy issues, right? Growing up, that term daddy issues is often used as an insult. Like, nah, you don't want to deal with her, she got daddy issues. So if you have daddy issues, right? And I know this because I've had them. If you have daddy issues, usually you see that in the men that you choose. I used to describe myself, I used to say that, like, I love rejection. I feed off of rejection. I seem to only know, at that point in my life, I seem to only know how to be with men who I felt were rejecting me because it felt like a challenge. And so, not wanting to dive into the core of why I have these certain behaviors, it just felt like a thrill, it felt like a challenge, but I also don't know how to communicate. I also don't know if what I deserve actually exists, and I'm afraid to say that I deserve these things out loud. So in that stage when you are emotionally unavailable, one, you attract broken men. Two, you stay broken. You're not in a space of healing. And then three, you don't get it. Like, so you're walking around with all this extra baggage and you're bringing it to someone, you're bringing it to a partner. And we tend to go through this stage in our early teens, not our early teens, but like our early 20s and our late teens when we really start diving into real relationships. And so you keep bringing your baggage to this partner and to this relationship, and you forget that your partner is not your doctor. And so with that being said, how to navigate through that is that you should go see a therapist. And I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not trying to be rude. I know that that's like a touchy-feely subject in our world, but seeing a therapist and going to someone who has literally studied the way that the mind works and who's literally studied patterns and behaviors in people, they're gonna help you bring out things and talk about things that you may not be ready to discuss with your friends, things that you may not be ready to discuss with your family members. And so on the other side of that, seeing your mother date can also cause you to be emotionally unavailable. Growing up, I've seen my mom go through a couple of relationships, not a lot, but in all of her relationships, she's always been so independent. And my mom will be the first person to tell you, I don't need you. I get that independent mindset from my mom. And again, daddy issues have made me the ultimate creative. And watching my mom date has made me now super independent. So those things, those traumas, if you go to therapy and learn where to channel them, if you outsource opinions and advice on how to navigate through those traumas, then they're not actually bad things. But in that space, if you're trying to pursue a relationship, it's not really a good idea, because like, not to be another one of those people beating self-love into you and force feeding you that medicine of self-love, but self-love is so important. But a lot of us don't know the appropriate steps to get there. There's gonna be parts of you that you don't like, that you don't even know you don't like, because you don't have anyone to talk to about that. And self-hatred or self-dislike, that's a part of being emotionally unavailable, because they tell you time and time again, if you don't love you, how can you tell someone else how to love you? So I think that if you are in stage 1, you should definitely not be dating. So now stage 2 is being emotionally unavailable because of a past lover. This is definitely a space that we live in our 20s. Yeah, especially if you had like a high school sweetheart. Oh my God. So being emotionally unavailable because of a past lover. That one, I don't even have to explain. It's clear as day. So now either you're still seeing that person, you're still in communication with that person, or you are still emotionally invested in your idea of what you and this person were supposed to have. So now dating is a difficult task. I think that this is a stage where you should be exploring dating. Definitely don't be trying to run into a new relationship if you're, still heartbroken. Deal with that heartbreak, and it's okay to want to date again and want to see other people. There's no time limit on how long it takes to quote unquote move on, and if it was real then it should take forever. Like, that's not how that works. That's not how the heart works. That's not how the mind works, and that's not how the hormones work. So you need to recognize, like, okay, here I am in a space where I'm emotionally unavailable, and I know this because I've gone through this, but I would like to date. First things first, stop comparing everyone to your ex. Stop comparing everyone to your ex. Sometimes we think it's just in like, oh, this person looks like him. No. There are certain behaviors that you have been conditioned to accept depending on how long you were with that person. So the moment that something reminds you of your past relationship, talk about it. I know, I'm saying talk about it, yes. Talk about it, discuss it. If you're just talking to the person, I know I want to eliminate that talking phase, right? But okay, if you are not in a serious situation or in pursuit of a serious situation with someone, then you don't have to be lengthy about what you're explaining. You just have to say, hey, you did this yesterday and it made me uncomfortable. Or you did this yesterday and I really didn't like it, or I really didn't appreciate it. If they ask why, then you can tell them, this is how that makes me feel. You don't have to say, this reminds me of this person. You have to say, this is how that makes me feel. Because now you're allowing this new person a new opportunity to be the person that you desire for today. And so when it comes to certain behaviors, like, I literally would find myself attracted to anyone who just reminded me of my ex. Like, oh, he's kind of an asshole. Oh, he's kind of, whatever. It's so sad that asshole was the first thing that came to mind, but whatever. So if you want to date, it's okay. I think that this is a space where it's like, it's kind of okay to date. As long as you are able to identify, these are the things that I'm used to, these are my patterns, this is the cycle, And as long as you can slow that wheel down and start to walk in a different direction, then you're doing great. If you are not in a space where you feel like you can actually identify what those traits are, I encourage you to write it down. What are things that I loved about this person that I was with? And what are things that I disliked about this person that I was with? The things that you loved, it's completely okay to see that in other people and want it again or want to experience it, but those red flags, you have to honor them. You have to honor them, and honor them by saying, I don't want this, rather than saying, oh, I'm used to this. This is okay. No. You need to learn, you need to relearn what you like. That was one of the things that I went into dating with this past like year and a half, that I was just like, you know what, like I really want to try dating for real. I understood that I needed to, one, unlearn certain behaviors and unlearn certain things that I was just programmed to tolerate. And two, I had to want new. And new is very, very scary, but you have to make a choice to want something new, because you are a new woman when you exit any relationship and any friendship and any romantic relationship. You're a new person, and so your ideas and your values, they go up and they change the older that you get, and that's okay. But you need to identify, what does this version of me today actually want, rather than what is this version of me today used to. And if you see a red flag, baby girl, walk away. I'm probably only gonna tell you once that I don't like this, and I'm not gonna tell you twice. So if it happens again, then I know that this is the kind of person that you are, and it just don't mesh with what I want for myself and who I am today. So just because you are used to dealing with that kind of behavior doesn't mean that you have to tolerate it now. So that is being emotionally unavailable, phase 2. So now for stage 3 of being emotionally unavailable. This is where I think that I'm at in life right now. And stage 3 comes with a fear of commitment. So your guard now is not that you don't know what you deserve, or not that you are afraid to announce what you deserve. Your guard now is that you got a list of things, and you so know what you deserve, and you so know what you want, that you don't leave any room for anything else. And it's a little unhealthy. Yes, I'm calling myself out. It's a little unhealthy. So stage 3, when you're in stage 3 of being emotionally unavailable, your focus and your emotions and your passion is actually going towards your goals, right? And so for some of us it's true, because I'm definitely one of those people where I have to check myself. It's not true for everyone, but men can be a distraction. And until you learn how to navigate through that and like keep yourself in check, it's very easy to be afraid of dating and to be afraid of commitment, because at the end of the day, you're like, all right, I can't have 2 number 1 priorities. And this is definitely true for me. I'm a person that, like, when I'm with someone, I give them my all, my absolute everything. And so you think that it's impossible to give another person your all and your absolute everything when you are focusing on your you and your absolute everything. So sometimes that, like, you can be in school, you can be starting a business. I was also starstruck. I just launched my makeup line. You can be working on your creativity. You can be starting a new job, trying to get a raise. Like, whatever it is that puts you in grind mode, when you are in grind mode and when you are in pursuit of your success story, your personal success story, you are guarded, because you don't want anyone to come in and distract you. You don't want anyone to come in and take away from that. And you are also afraid that that whole, like, she's too independent complex that men get when they see you on your grind is going to keep good men away from you anyways. So with that being said, I think it's important to enjoy life. Find those moments, because right now you being emotionally unavailable is a scapegoat. It's a flex. It is a guard, but it is a guard that you have a lot of control over. And literally it's the difference between smiling at someone who bought you a drink or rolling your eyes at somebody who smiled at you on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a choice. I want you to know that if you are in stage 3, it's okay to have a little fun. It's okay to take a 5-minute break. It's okay to take an hour break and go on a lunch date and then come back home and do your work. It's okay to date. Dating is fun. Being courted is fun. Being in a relationship can be an amazing thing. And if you are not in a place right now where you want to be in a relationship, it doesn't have to be one or the other. Like, you don't have to be the cat lady or the married girl. You can just enjoy the company of somebody else when you feel like it, without being afraid that they're going to suck the power out of you and be your kryptonite and you lose your superpowers because you let this man have 5 minutes of your day. So in stage 3, I think it's important to remember that you are human, you have hormones, you're also wiser. It's important to remember that you are wiser, so you know what it looks like when you're being distracted. So set boundaries, but don't just close the door to dating. I think dating is so much fun, and I think that we learn so much about ourselves when we date. And by dating, I mean like literally just go out, have a drink or two, eat food, be merry, be joyful, smile, talk about yourself, talk about these things, talk about the grind, talk about what you got going on and your passions and your pursuit, and share that with someone, even if that someone is only in your life for 2 months. Share those things, be happy, get stress relieved. Like, we be working so hard, like especially the girls that are in school, like y'all work so hard. Finals week, y'all going mad hard. Men work hard too, but I'm just, you know, like, you're working so hard that sometimes it's okay to take a breather. Give yourself a moment to enjoy and to be praised and to be complimented and to just be in the presence of someone else, because the last thing that you want is to feel like you're so successful and you have all of these things and you don't have anyone to share them with. Not that you need someone to share them with, but I personally feel like it would be nice. Like, sometimes it's nice to, you know, have somebody to just talk to and share these things with. Like, I had to build my website for my line, and while I'm not really impressed by it, I have a lot of work to do. Just that process of like, damn, like, I have not done this since I was 19 years old, which is kind of a long time ago. To have somebody to talk to about that, to just share that with, and to just go over memories. And dating is okay. If you are in stage 3, don't be afraid to date. Being emotionally unavailable is a choice, and I'm here to tell you that it's okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. That was Red Wine Girl Time. Drop your comments below. Let me know what stage you think you at when it comes to being emotionally unavailable, or if you are not emotionally unavailable and you are just living your best life. Tell me what that feels like. How did you get there? Did you go through any of these stages, or have you always just been open and ready to love and to relationships and to commitment? Whew. Vulnerability, scary, scary word. Next week's episode is going to be about the independent woman, the myths about the independent woman. We're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And I'm going to tell you all those stereotypes are not true. Some girls wonder, other girls whine. That was Red Wine Girl Time.